Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben. In today's episode we are doing our September allotment tour. So let's go around and see what's growing. So this is our September tour. Each month we're going to try and share a video of how the allotment's looking, what's growing, what's not growing, what our plans are and how things are coming along. So let's go and have a look around the plot and see how things are doing. So we're now at the front of my plot, and as you can see all the flowers are looking absolutely fantastic. The marigolds, they're doing really well. We've still got plenty of heads left on them to grow. We've still got some. I'm going to save those for some seeds. I want to try and use the flowers what I've grown to get the seeds for next year, save having to purchase them and save money obviously. And as you can see, the scabies are looking brilliant. It's the first time I've grown flowers and I'm really impressed with how everything's done. We've got the sunflowers growing, they're looking really good. I'm really pleased with how all those have turned out. And they certainly add a nice addition to the front of my plot and make it welcoming. Yeah, look at the flowers. The gladiolus are dying off now. They're starting to come to the end of the time, but we've still got a yellow one, what looks like it's going to be popping out in the next week. And down here, we've got some more gladioli growing and some marigolds and scabia. And I'm loving these purple ones. These are looking absolutely beautiful. Look at the colour of them. But yeah, it was my aim this year to try and grow flowers on the plot, and I've got to admit I've successfully done it. And the geraniums, they're doing fantastic. I'm going to get all those in for winter and keep them warm, and fingers crossed they'll grow back next year. So yeah, pretty pleased with the front of my plot. In the springtime we had all spring bulbs in here and I wanted to carry it on looking beautiful, and I think I've done the job. So down the side of my plot I've got autumn variety of raspberries. Let me know what variety of raspberries you grow on your plot. I prefer the autumn varieties. They produce bigger crops and the raspberries are a lot bigger than the summer variety of raspberries. And as you can see, I've still got absolutely loads coming along. Once those are finished, I will chop them back down to the ground. As autumn variety, you can chop them back down to the ground and they'll grow again next year. The summer variety ones, you cut back the canes that I've had this fruit on and leave the new growth for next year, as that will be what fruits next year. My plum tree's dropped all its leaves now, and that's going into hibernation, ready for the autumn. As you remember, I had a fantastic crop of plums on my plum tree this year. This is a Victoria plum tree, so if you're looking at getting a plum tree, I recommend the Victoria plum tree, as that does fantastic. And I had a fantastic crop and they taste absolutely delicious. This is my cooking apple tree. And as you can see, I've got lots of cooking apples left to pick on it. I've got to get off the old fruit what are rotting, as we don't want to spread any diseases on the tree. Leaving rotten fruit on the tree can cause diseases, and you don't want any diseases on your fruit trees. So yeah, as you can see, they're quite big ones, the cooking apples. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how they've done. I've taken up all the old rhubarb leaves, ready for them to go into hibernation for the winter. They'd all died off and rotted away, so I've cleared all them away. In the springtime we'll give them some food to give them some energy to kickstart them, ready for the growing season next year. This is my pear tree. As you can see, it has got a few marks on it, but the pear tree did fantastic. I need to get off them leaves, look at that. So we need to get those leaves off. But the pears I picked this week and they've done fantastic. I've still got one pear left on it. That's not quite ready yet. But yeah, the pear tree's done fantastic this year. I'm really pleased with the outcome of how that's done. This is my eating apple tree. That's not done as well this year. I've not got many apples on it. Last year I got absolutely loads on it, but I gave it a good cutting back this year. So I've not had as many apples, but the ones that I've got growing look absolutely fantastic. That's not quite ready yet. I tried it earlier. It doesn't twist off in my hand, so that means it's not ready. You're not meant to pull them. You're meant to just let them twist off, and then you know that they're ready for picking. So these are my sweet peas. I've shared a video recently on YouTube. If you've not checked it out, check it out on how to save the sweet pea seeds for growing them next year, as my sweet peas have done absolutely fantastic. You don't want to save them when they're like that. You want to wait until they've died off and gone brown, a real dark brown, before you pick them off to save the seeds. Something a bit like that. So yeah, check out the video and let me know if you're growing sweet peas next year, as sweet peas do absolutely fantastic when you can get them to grow. I know there can be a struggle to get them to grow, but once you get them growing, they do fantastic, and the smell that comes from them is phenomenal. So yeah, that's what we've got to do, keep saving the seeds off the sweet peas. Now down this area was where I had all my potatoes. I've now cleared all them out and got all the old potatoes. You don't want to leave any small potatoes in, as they will keep popping back year on year. I've got all this lot to clear next. This is my rhubarb. I grew all this rhubarb from seed, but I'm going to be moving the plants, I think, and they're in the way and they grow over the path, so I'm looking at moving them. And obviously you can see I've got an issue with bindweed, so I need to really dig down and get the roots out for the bindweed. But while I was clearing away, I did notice this hiding. Look at the size of that courgette. Now marrow probably, but yeah, it's absolutely massive. So that needs to be picked and eaten. Down here are all my strawberry plants. As you can see, I've cut them all back. I've taken off all the old leaves, what we're growing. We've just got to clear the rubbish away from them. As you can see, that's got a flower on it. Just take that off, because you don't want flowers growing on them. They won't come to anything at this time of year in September. I've taken off all the runners, potted them up. They're just old ones, ignore them ones. But yeah, I've taken off all the runners, I've potted them up. They're in my greenhouse, getting watered. Check out the video for that as well. I've shared a video for that about how to pot up your strawberry plants. So make sure you check that out. If you subscribe to my channel, you can stay up to date with all my videos on how they're doing. All my calendula is dying off now, so I'm going to save all the seeds from them, as they do fantastic. You need to get off the seeds before they drop them, as calendula spread like mad. They're probably worse than weeds. But yeah, I need to get all the seed heads off that and save them for next year, because they're a great addition to the garden. As you can see, absolutely beautiful. Adds so much colour to the plants and to the area, because vegetable gardens can be dull and boring if they're all just green everywhere. This is one of my squash plants, pumpkin plants I think it is, and I was watching Monty Don, and he was saying that there's no point having flowers on them now, as they won't come to anything. So you can take the flowers off them, and if you've got any growing, you can take the leaves off as well to let the light through, to get them to grow and get them to ripen. So that's one job that I need to do, get all the leaves off and get all the flowers off, so that you can concentrate on growing all the pumpkins what are left. These are my sweet corn, and as you can see, I've not got many sweet corn left on the plant, as I've picked a lot of it and eaten a lot of it. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll be able to see that. Check out Gardening with Ben, and you'll be able to see how delicious my sweet corn were. I picked one this morning to show my Facebook Live followers. I'll show you that one. As you can see, absolutely beautiful, and it's pollinated really well, and it's turned out really good. As you can see, I plant all my sweet corn close together. That helps with pollination and getting good crops. So that's one tip for you. And hiding away down here, I've got a squash growing. Look at the size of that one, absolutely huge. And again, I need to take off all the leaves that are covering it so that it can ripen and turn out nice, ready for eating. And get off any old flowers what are growing, because they won't come to anything now. It's too late for any to be growing, because it takes possibly around 50 days for a squash to grow. So you need to take off any old flowers what are growing. These are all my summer raspberries what are growing down this side. Like I said, you need to cut off any old canes what have had fruit on this year, as they won't grow any next year. It's all the new growth. All this what's starting to invade all my strawberry plants, that's all the new growth. I'm going to be digging those up and moving them to the side of my plot so that they can grow in the right position. This is my beetroot. This is a later crop what I planted. This should hopefully be ready in October time. Fingers crossed we get some decent sized beetroot from it. I just need to do a bit of weeding around it so that it can concentrate on growing the beetroot rather than the weeds. But this is a later crop, early crop that I planted, not later. And as you can see, they're ready for picking. They're a decent size now. So we need to get those picked and boiled. These here are some spare carrot plants what I planted. I weren't thinking that they'll come to anything, as the soil is rubbish around this area. It's not ideal soil for growing carrots in, but we'll just see how they get along and see if we get anything from them. I'm not expecting anything, but next year I'm going to try growing them in pop bottles, as I've seen good tips on that, filling them with compost and obviously sand, and see if we get any good growing from them. Does anybody else get any good results from growing carrots? Let me know in the comments. And down here we've got a pumpkin hiding away. He's been growing all along, but I need to get all this area cleared so that I can get some light to it so that it can ripen and be tasty, ready for October. My kale's done fantastic this year. I won't grow as much next year because this is too much. I keep picking it all the time and eating in it, but it's absolutely delicious. This is a purple variety of kale, and as you can see, I've got absolutely loads of it. Down here is my new area. This is my Rockery area. As you can see, I've planted heather. I've got some pansies in. I've got some bay leaves in. I've got some lavender in, and they all seem to be coming along pretty good. They're taking pretty well and growing nicely. And in this area, I shared the video the other day on planting spring bulbs in the garden. So this is filled with hyacinths, daffodils, crocuses. I've not planted my tulips yet as that's too early. Snowdrops, alliums. So come springtime, this will look absolutely fantastic. So make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date and see what it looks like in spring. Yeah, that is how my allotment's looking at the moment. It's coming along pretty well. Things are starting to come to the end now. It's a case of getting it all cleared and ready for next year and start planning on what I'm going to be growing next year. Has anyone else made any plans ready for next year? Down here we've got some turnips growing. So yeah, they're ready for picking pretty soon. As you can see, they get a nice size. They don't grow massive. It's sweets that grow big. So yeah, they're ready for picking. And as you can see, some are going to flower, so I need to get them out of the ground. Down this side, I've got some sunflower heads, what I need to cut off because I'm going to save all the seeds for next year and grow them myself from the seeds that I've grown this year, as they've done absolutely well, and it'll save me money having to buy sunflower seeds next year. So fingers crossed I can get those cut off soon and we'll get them dried out, ready for next year. These are my tomatoes. They're looking very ripe. I need to get all them picked off, but they're producing more than I can eat at the moment, so it's a case of keeping up with them all. And these are the yellow ones, what I've got growing as well. So yeah, we've got plenty of tomatoes to be picking and get those eaten. My cucumbers are dying off now. They've come to the end of the time. We've got plenty of cucumbers on there to pick and to get them eaten. So we'll get those taken off as well. How well have you done with your cucumbers this year? Let me know. I've done really well with mine. So that has been my tour of the allotment. Let me know in the comments below what sort of videos you like me to produce. I'm always open to new ideas and sharing tips and advice, as I love doing these videos. Make sure you check out the links below as well to join my Facebook page, and also check out my website as well. So thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, keep gardening.
Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, which you can subscribe to, and they are all Gardening with Ben. I also have my own website which you can go and visit, which is www.gardenandallotment.com. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos.